Hello and welcome to my Pillars of Eternity Definitive Edition, part 51. In the last episode we went a little bit around the Burial Isle and made some small quests in different districts of the Twin Elms village, and today we will go slowly finishing some quests which are we getting at the moment or will be getting at the moment in the temple in Elms Reach, which I forgot the name, so let's do it. Okay, as you can see, we are currently at Ter Evron. We have already spoken with 3 pillars of gods, with Berath, Hyla, and Galawain, Magran, and Abaddon in one. And we still need to speak to Rimergan, Tondra, and Scan. Well, not speak, but to pray to them. And as you can see, this is the party at the moment. Level 14 and slowly getting to level 15 with 4 of the characters. Okay, so let's try to speak with Scan. Once more you approach the shrine, and the constellation of the Beast of Winter, this time gold emanating from the shrine, is unmistakable. A thin frost has formed upon the edges of the stone. Pray to Rimergant. You kneel before the shrine and prepare to recite the ritual words. Let's try all things can be reforged. I really don't know. Your words seems to fade once voiced, as if they were cast into a vast emptiness. The hall grows deadly still and silent, and then the ground starts to tremble beneath your feet. Oh, shite. Here and here. You go here and...
Ready. Watch out.
Good. Let's try to do that again. Hopefully the correct one. Once more you approach the shrine and the constellation of the Beast of Winter. This time the cold emanating from the shrine is unmistakable. A thin frost has formed upon the edges of the stone. Pray to Rimergant. You kneel and close your eyes as you pray. The blackness fades to white, and the howling wind fills your ears. The vision that slowly resolves itself is of a broad, frozen plain. You see a procession of elves in the distance, periodically fading into and emerging from the whiteness. They trudge over snowbanks, their heads down against the driving winds. I know this place. This is the White That Went. As the trek past you, one man bundled in furs turns his head. You headed for Noonfrost and the frost-hewn breach too. Before you can answer, he is lumbered ahead. You follow the caravan, and in a couple of minutes you come to a wall of ice. It disappears into the pale emptiness overhead and stretches far as you can see in either direction. The elves stop in front of a mirror-smooth section that's framed like a temple door. It seems somehow thinner than the rest of the wall. You can see what's on the other side, but a debilitating cold emanates from within. The elves pull pickaxes and shovels from their steel-skin packs and begging hacking at the smooth ice. Their implements flying through the air in swift shining arcs. Though, though they throw bodies into their labor, not one of them so much as scratches the polished ice. Yet with each blow, something bellows in the distance. Whatever that is, it's huge and angry. Sagani squints into the whiteout, and it's coming our way. Elgina's head whips around to see where the billowing is coming from. Forget about the elves, we need to be ready to move. She turns again to face you, flexing her hands in the cold air. Or fight. The elves hack away, seemingly oblivious to the furious lowing and to the tremors under your feet. The snow has risen to your knees. Your legs feel frozen in the drifts. Try to get the elf's attention. You grab the nearest elf by her shoulder, shaking her and yelling over the howling winds. You point in the direction of the booming noise, but she only scolds. Leave us, traveler. We've got to get through. We can't stay on this side any longer. Listen, you're angering something very big. You'd better stop. The elf strains to listen. As she rests her pick in the mounting snow, some of her fellows pause in their labors. A man with a withered, frostbitten finger turns, he raises his maimed hand, and the others stop as well. They stand motionless for several seconds before you realize they've frozen entirely. You touch the elf nearest to you, and he crumbles into a mound of snow. A final gale blows past, scattering the remains of the elves in a chaotic flurry. You notice a single spider web crack in the smooth barrier. It's the only thing that mars the perfect surface of the ice. Whatever's on the other side of the strange door, you feel it tugging at you. Only when you look back and see the parallel gashes trailing behind your legs in the snow, do you realize how strong its pull is.
My end comes to all things in time. Seal the frost-hewn breach and instruct the pilgrims in the patience of Remergond.
Plug the hole with a handful of snow. You fill your hand with snow and shove it into the crack. It hardens instantly, and a hoary rime grows over the smooth surface of the frozen doorway, fusing it with the rest of the wall. When you take your hand away, a perfect crystal of ice remains in your palm. As you examine the crystal, the vision around you fades, but unmelting shard of ice remains in your hand. Oh. At the Remigran shrine, I saw a procession of pale elves perish before a wall of ice. And new quest. Rimergant showed me a vision of a gate, the frost-hewn breach, and the pale elves trying to open it. In the vision, the elves crumbled into snow, and I sealed the gate with an ice crystal that I still had when the waking dream ended. I found Noonfrost, Rimergant's temple in Old Song. The frost-hewn breach must be here. When I find it, I can use the shard from the vision to close it according to Rimergant's wishes. Okay, so let's get there right away. I have already 2 finished quests and this one is 4th. We'll see how this will go.
Do you enjoy hunting
Stop
with
right
your
there.
Stilgar form? Or do you prefer traditional weapons?
Well, my favorite trick is to pretend I'm just a dead Orlan until something gets really close. Then I shift.
A clever tactic.
I'll say, I once killed a moose by giving it a heart attack.
Okay, so let's talk to Yovara.
You're in the wrong city, Inquisitor. Did you think you wouldn't be recognized here in your old home? I've seen your trials with my own eyes.
I have seen you light pyres with good people tied to them. People I'd know many a year. He seized you by the throat and you airway titans. Whether real or imagined you cannot tell. They deserve your confession. He raises the point of his sword, holding it a hair's breadth from your eye.
Suros, what are you doing?
Startled, the soldier releases you immediately and turns to face the speaker, a woman in a plain wool tunic, fully a head shorter than he, but somehow seeming to tower over him. You have seen this woman's face before, but from afar, bloodied and burnt as she lay stretched across an iron wheel. At the moment, it is marked only with concern.
An assassin sent by the Inquisition, my lady, daring to approach our camp.
If he is so poor an assassin as to approach an armed guard in Annihilate, I should have nothing to fear. I would hear what this man has to say. She stares him down until he can no longer face her. He turns away, sore-faced, watching you through sidelong glances, his knuckles wide around the pommel of his sword.
Surely this is some trick of my mind. I did not expect to see you again.
Grand Inquisitor Tausig Sarkanon dispatched me here to spy on you. Yovara doesn't blink. Are things as desperate as that over there? I'd never have known. I hope your next assignment is more stimulating. Listening to my lectures is dull work for a spy. It is special to have an old pupil return to me. I must have done something right, even after having taught so much that was wrong. Whatever reasons, I've missed you over all these years. Having you here now, at the time when I'm surrounded by strangers, is a wonderful gift. I would like for
you to stay here in our camp as my guest.
My Lady Yovara, I beg of you. This is an Inquisitor. This is a desperate attempt on your life. The only way it can succeed is if you allow it to.
This is a missionary, same as I was. Taught the wrong things as I was. If I can't have faith in one man's ability to reason, once he knows the truth, what hope do we have?
My lady, he admits being a spy.
That should make him less of a threat, wouldn't you agree? I have nothing to hide. All I see here is an opportunity to persuade someone who could help us. We have many former missionaries here. They are our most loyal, our most helpful. Many have died for us. These are not people we should be turning away. And if the Inquisition wants my life, they can have it. But they know as well as I do that my cause will not die with me. Come, we have much to talk about.
Interesting. And here is a Durance.
What is it, Watcher?
Durance doesn't seem to recognize you for a second, then blinks, frowns. Does what we learned about Vodika trouble you?
It stinks of her. It is justice, but if her greater purpose was to think Margaret would fall prey to such deceit. And Aethys. Widewind had always claimed to be invading Deerwood to free it. What if it were true? What if he had come to stop Woodica's plot before it began? Surely Aethys earned his death at Godhammer Citadel, but not for those reasons. Not to keep him silent. If such a thing has brought about this chaos...
Durance tilts his head as if listening to an inner voice, then he frowns, the frown deepening as he speaks.
Must we always be tools of gods? If Woodica and Margrin, if they are the cause of this, the Hollowborn, if the purges were never necessary, if Aethys was fighting back...
Then your Godhammer didn't save Deerwood, it doomed it.
So many lies. And Woodica, perhaps she is the next god to fall beneath the Godhammer.
Would it have been better had you been spared this knowledge?
No, I am glad to have walked this far with you, seen this truth. Perhaps it was what I was meant to see, with a watcher's eyes. All these dances of words and intrigues, machines of men, twisted, ripping the souls of children, and by the gods, the goddess of justice. If I could end her like Aethys, Margrin burned her once. One can do so again. Woodica, she must answer to her own justice.
Justice or revenge?
Anyone with a shred of spirit seeks both justice and punishment. It burns in the heart of anyone who lives. All seek it. If the world does not balance, we all drown in the oceans. And the gods would not care. Margrin, she must be redeemed. And punishing Woodica, that will serve.
Do we know that Magran was not a willing accomplice?
Is this some final joke at my expense? To test my faith further? And why would you think that, Watcher?
Because she didn't want anyone to know how the Godhammer has been made. No one knows it came to be, except few among Magran, like yourself.
If all you have are questions, then I have enough of those. She is a bitch of a goddess, to be sure. But even a whore only goes so far in crossing those she serves.
When you departed for Halgoth Citadel to strike at Eotas, you traveled so no one could recognize you, correct?
You answer a question with a question. Then why did I feel her disappointment at Halgot? Why were we shamed?
Because I think she tried to kill you there.
Kill me? She is a goddess. I still drink from her burning breasts, Watcher. If she wished me dead, she could trace me to my source and kill me.
In the dream of the Godhammer, your spirit looked blurred, indistinct in the light, as if it had been sheared from you. Duran stares at you, his expression frozen, but he is silent, listening. If you had been damaged as I saw in the Godhammer vision, then she may be unable to see you as you once were. Durance turns from you for a moment, his face twists in thought, conflicting emotions running across his features. Finally he turns to you, his face steady.
There's no proof, Watcher. I was a fool to think you could help me see any farther than I could.
If you don't trust me, then trust your staff. Admit that all the other Godhammer builders are dead. Durance turns to the staff, and for a moment you see his eyes burning, taking in the edges of the wood, the symbols inlaid there, the 11 faded circles.
They died in the blast, yes. The other 11. I was the only one to walk away. I thought we had wronged our goddess. That this was my trial, and if I could prove myself worthy of her! I should have known better. There is only one God of redemption, and I saw him ended.
As he studies the staff, you feel a wave of heat, a terrible energy rolling forth from in it. Waves so much so it feels as if the Godhammer itself is alive in his hands. And past it, you hear a cry, like a child being born. And your eyes feel the flash of white, then 100 imagined shades of purple and white, streaming and circling into the howling of a storm, and beneath it, the grinding of ancient machines of stone, rock, and metal, grinding and turning until all around you feels as if it's burning, sinking into the shadow of the earth, beneath the ground, the only place where a spirit might find refuge. When your vision clears, you see Durance, his hands clutching the staff, and his eyes are bright, burning red. Atop the staff, the flame burns cleanly brightly. As his gaze burns, he rips his gaze away and howls, a billowing horrid howl, like a wounded animal. A sweat pours down his brow. We can see that justice is served, to her and Wodika both.
To think I served her, I followed her. Now I shall serve no one. Woodika's lies must be answered. And now it seems I must take fire and war from a goddess's false claim as well. I still take from her strength as I did, for as long as it lasts. For I shall not cast her aside yet, until I have drained her dry and had my fill, just as she intended for me. For I have learned one of the lessons of the faithful. The faithful may wound a goddess greater than any enemy. A purification is coming, and this fire shall consume them both.
Let's continue on. It looks like we completed the last vanilla personal quest. I was able to get Durance to see that Magran had conspired with Wodika in creating the Godhammer, and that her refusing to speak with him wasn't because he had wronged her, but rather was because she had intended him to die with the other Godhammer engineers in order to keep secret her direct involvement in Iota's destruction. Though it appears this alliance between the goddesses was short-lived and sheds new light on the Saints' War and the epidemic of hollow-born infants that followed. Durance, for his part, has renounced his goddess and sworn revenge. As a man who killed one god already, it would seem that he might be one of the only people alive who can make good on such a threat. Okay, what? We still have very few experience points to the level 15. Okay. So let's get to the Noonfrost first. Even the mighty Stelgar will kill the weakest vermin when her cubs are threatened. No outsider man has ever communed with the gods before. Size and youth made no difference for Ernos. Let's see what awaits us there this time, when we have the quest already.
Certainly.
Okay, let's tell to Vesgal first. You again? There's nothing else to see here. The inner halls are closed. I'm looking for the frost-hewn breach. The barest flush rises in her pale cheeks. As I say it, only the shrine in the eastern wing is open. The rest of the temple is closed to visitors right now. I suggest that you make your devotions there and leave. Her cheeks flush, Watcher. Perhaps she misinterpreted what you meant by frost-hewn breach. Her eyes dart between the two doors on either side of the room. If that's all, goodbye. Okay, let's sneak there
What?
like last time.
Yes?
Go, 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 before he comes into the room. Finally, I found the Frosthaven breach. Placing the shard in the frozen doorway will close it. And the area is leveled up. Spell Mastery. Well, I think I take this one. I use that one most of the time. Well, let's talk to Guy first. He runs a hand over his neat beard, the frostbitten finger black against his pale hair. Again, I must focus. Please leave. Quietly, if you don't mind. Rimergan sent me to close the Frosthewn breach. His red eyes widen. You are a man of compassion. Would you trap us here another 100 lifetimes? He shakes his head, weaningness creeping back into his eyes. We can't continue like this. We've got to find a way into the Wide Void. The Wide Void?
Rimergon's domain. A place where all things are mingled like snowflakes in a blizzard. It's a vortex of such chaos that even the Beast of Winter himself could not calculate the trajectory of the infinite particles of essence there. As souls are broken down over successive reincarnations, they become part of the White Void. It is a place where all things find perfect unity and freedom. The frost-hewn breach is a weak spot in the barrier between us and the White Void. Thin ice on a frozen lake. We've come from the White that wends to find it.
Tell me about you and your people.
We call ourselves Glamfellen. Most here know us as Pale Elves. We hail from the White that wends, a glacial continent at the southernmost edge of Eora.
Sagani nods. They are nomads, hardly a lot. Some of the tribes occasionally spend a season in southern Arsitak.
We received a watcher in our lands a season ago and paid her to tell us of the origins of our souls. We wanted to contemplate the essence that fills us and consider how Rimergond might shatter and sow us once our days are spent. We were not prepared for what we learned.
I don't think the Watcher was either. She explained that every one of us had been reborn well into the clan of over centuries, generations spanning back to the first days of our people set foot on the White Advance. We had all been cut off from the mercy our God promises. That night we began awakening, experiencing fragments of our past lives, old hatreds, dead passions, tangled memories. It illuminated nothing but the realization that we are doomed to live 1,000 pointless lives, never closer to Rimagand's salvation. How did he conclude those lives were pointless? Hiravias ponders aloud behind you. Maybe Rimagand showed them exactly what they asked and they can't see the answer in front of them. I suppose when one seeks, when they are out to listen, a leap of reasoning is to be expected. We want to die. We want Rimagran to scatter our souls into the ether, that their million fragments might join with white void. He looks at his hands and the single frostbitten finger. My magic hasn't found a way through the frozen breach yet, but there must be one. And you want to open the breach?
So that we can die. Permanently. We've lived more lifetimes than any mortal should. We've been faithful followers of Rimergond since our earliest incarnations. He's the god of entropy. Why would he force us to be reborn again and again?
Hiravias looks his glass well solemnly, and then looks too. That rage sounds painfully familiar. Why did the God of Seekers punish me for asking a question? Still, I wish I could give him the peace Vale has shown me. The gods act in a way that are unknowable to us. To ascribe them motivation is to assume them to be folk, not gods. Better to accept and advance than to lament and stay stuck in one place.
But if anything could pass through the frost-hewn breach, it would enter directly into the White Void. This death is overdue for us. We just have to find a way through.
You can't oppose the will of a god. He laughs, but his eyes do not. You think that because Rimmergan spoke to you in a dream, you can march in here and tell us about his will? Or that you, as long as this temple has stood, no, we seek the very end that he promises. Do not lecture me about my duties to my god. Attack, fine. You want to die? I can help with that. I don't like this outcome either. Shit. Resolution is 12. Result is 12. I will never get it to 17. Well, too bad.
Join arms! Wreath.
Let's get here fast. And you stun him.
Austin, words are wrong.
More Palagina, so not you, Palagina. Oh, she's stunned.
Join arms!
Where is she? Okay, you can knock him down. And everyone else pile on the ambition. Heal yourself and you too.
To battle!
Vanquisher is still alive. Come, let's kill him. For fuck's sake, come here. Palagin. Where is the duck? Again. Once again, not. Get him down.
Need some?
Sorceress. Okay, a fight which I wanted to avoid. Not you.
Yes?
Another grimoire. Interesting.
Slow and silent. I'm ready.
Health to him.
Oh?
Ready, Watcher.
Oh?
Let's try to open it.
Certainly.
A quarterstaff. The chair radiates an unnatural, bone-chilling cold. Frost smudged with handprints covers these books. And let's close it. A pedestal of black ice rises from the floor. Long finger likes crystals, as hard and clear as diamonds surround and pierce the altar. A hole has been gouged out of the middle of the altar, though it can't be more than a few inches deep. It sucks at the air around you. Plug the hole with Rimmergun's shard. The shard fits perfectly. As it settles into place, the cold around the altar dissipates. Similarly, the portal before you seems to thicken, and the mysterious seepage tapers off. I've completed the task Rimmergun gave me. Now I can return to Terevaron to ask for his blessings. The frost-hewn breach lies dormant, now nothing more than a perfectly smooth wall of ice. So... Hero. That's what I wanted to get. Next place will be Northveld then. But first we need to capture all of them. Paladin and healer. So let's go after the healer.
Oh.
Stop the intruders! Trespasser in the inner halls! Let's finish this sorcerers. Let's finish this. Priestess. Another sorceress, so let's get her down. And you do this. And another blast.
Your thought.
Need some?
Why you do not cast what I want? Finally. Now, let's go against the healer.
Don't even slow down!
again.
Join arms!
Doggy. Let's finish and
Join arms!
so she wants to pay 200 copper for the Castoric, and she wants to no, we'll think about it. Again, a grimoire. And another 2 grimoires.
Sharp eyes and keen ears.
And we will still need to find one girl here. Too bad there was no other option than to kill them.
I can get it to spill its secrets. It's done.
And to level up for my cipher. So let's get this over after the quick save. Let's put one more mechanics into him. And we will take both of these. Done.
This ends here.
So, Vanquisher. Let's get here, and the doggy will knock down the second one.
I bring your end.
Here you are again. Why? Turn into the dog. And go against him.
Join arms! Join us!
Got an arrow for
Oh?
Margren's fire casts light in dark places.
This is open. Let's move a little bit around. Each line and wrinkle of this warrior's weather-beaten throne has been chiseled from the ice. Knock him down.
Death comes for you!
Not even slowing us down!
My mind feels sharp as steel.
Oops, priest. And another
I
one
bring
pusher.
your end.
Oh, where are you? Not you.
Join arms!
And another deal 150 raw damage to enemies with Twin Sting to unlock the next level. Okay.
They shall see nothing while I see much.
And what does the flame reveal?
I shall make it so. It's done.
Yeah? What?
Ready, Watcher. Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Finish!
I'll stay out of sight.
Water drips from the edges of the alcove.
I shall make it so. It's done. Let us end. Sharp eyes and keen ears. Now here's something.
A trap. Still stealing.
I can get it to spill its secrets. It's done.
Alva, we will just in case clear everything before continue. So she will not get killed.
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
Paladin and healer. So Doggy, let's drop him down and you
Need something?
change into refracted light dispels the icy mirror behind his statue. The water of this well has frozen solid, trapping small fish from the lake underneath the temple.
Certainly.
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
And still let's do it this way.
I bring.
Here.
Join us.
Okay. No. Kill the sorcerer first, but let's do it this way. Okay. You change into this.
Not even slowing it down.
And
Take you.
again, stun him. Good. Vesgal. Okay, let's try to kill Vesgal And you finished the vanquisher. This one is the best spell for sure. One more is down. Let's go against the vanquisher. And drop them down too.
My mind. Your sharpest steel.
And that's it. Two more grimoires.
Certainly.
The pages of this tome glistens under a thick layer of frost. Okay, now the whole temple, or I mean Noonfrost, should be cleared of the opposition, so let's get here. A young Orlan scrambles on the stone floor, pressing her back against the wall and baring her teeth at you. Her fur is patchy and matted. As you step into the room, she squints and turns her large eyes towards you. A heavy sigh escapes her tiny body. Beasts take me. My eyes mistook you for one of them. Please, get me out of here. Tell me about the people that captured you. No, what happened to you? When Noonfrost began freezing the lake, my sister, Lara, sent me to seek out the cause. She skulls at the dingy room. The pale elf Stravorn seized me before I could report back. These pale elves are behind it. They showed up in Twin Elms and not long ago, saying they wanted to see to the upkeep of Noonfrost. I don't know how, but they opened the Frosthaven breach, and the back of the temple sucks warmth and life straight into the frozen god's barren domains. She shivers. They've got to be stopped. It's only a matter of time before the cold spreads further. Can you tell me about anything about the Frosthaven breach? She shakes her head. Not really. Something to do with the immigrant, the beast of winter. I follow Galawain myself. Tell me about people that captured you. She snarls, her pointed teeth flashing, a clan of pale elves from the White Death Vents, devotees of Rimmergant, or so they claim. Their actions suggest other intent. They've come ready to fight, wizards, priests and paladins. A wizard named Glasswall leads them, a man obsessed with the Frosthaven breach. My ears hear him through the wall, casting spells and calling upon strange powers. I don't know what he wants with it, but no good can come of it. Make a run for it. Go. She turns toward the hall, her large ears angled forward as fast as my feet can carry me. She scrambles for the exit on emaciated arms and legs. At the door, she glances back at you. Thank you, Estramor, and be careful. She melts into the shadows.
I'll stay out of sight.
Okay, looks like we cleared it and we found
Now
also
here's something.
a fine stiletto here. Those bronze manacles gleam with frost. I found Alva locked in a room near back of the Noonfrost. She told me that the Glamfellan captured her when they caught her sneaking around. She wants me to help her escape. Alva made it out of Noonfrost. Lara will be delighted to see her, but she'll also want to hear my report of what happened in the temple. It will be soon. Okay, really looks like this is clear. So first, to get to her sister. The Orlan stands under the open sky, taking a deep breath of fresh air. Feels like I've been reborn. She thumps you on the shoulder. Come by the mouth sometime. The rest of the Fangs will want to meet the cunning Estramon who freed me. Okay, let's get to the mouth then. I think... oh, whatever. Warriors, the rains have not eroded our senses, but only chances to feed your spirits with a good fight. In Estramod I heard he dealt with the beasts. Ha, I cheer to your wisdom, welder man. Any of us would. One sacrifice can save many. Okay. My big friend, you miss the point again. She owed it to Alva. And here is the sister. What purpose brings you here? I found Alva. A breath catches in her throat. Your own eyes have seen her? I freed her from Noonfrost. She's just enjoying the fresh air before she returns. She released gasps of relief. You've accomplished a great service, for the Fangs and for me. Lara takes another deep breath. I was wrong about you, Estramor. I did not see you truly. Please, accept a gift worthy of your honor and skill. I cleared the path so that Alva could escape from Noonfrost. Alva waves at you, a broad smile on her thin mouth. Her fur is sleek and glossy now, and there's a mischievous twinkle in her eye. Good to see you again. How are you? The whole unwell, thank to you. Not that Lara's given me a chance to rest. She eyes another Olran woman. My sister makes me earn my keep around here. You spent long enough stuck in that frozen cell, didn't you? Your limbs need exercise now. Teach me what you know. She laughs. As long as you can keep up. Memnon was granted Blooded Hunter. Interesting. What is this? Blooded Hunter. +1 damage reduction, slash and pierce, and +1 into the stealth. Good. And what we have received? Scales of the Raven. Perception +2. This one is exceptional. If we get some more items. Okay. Goodbye. Let's talk to Laura.
Hail, Estramore.
You're always welcome here, Kareth. Goodbye. Okay. Another quest finished. The sisters are stronger than I thought. And it's time to go to Nordfeld again, now that we have high enough reputation to talk with the Fangs. And I'll level up for...
I've traveled thousands of miles on Valian trading ships, but never seen the shores of Nasitak. How did you find your way on your own, Sagani?
Well, it has taken 5 years, but Itamak never wants to ask for directions.
Perhaps you should take over as navigator in the future.
Like I always say, blame it on the fox.
Okay, let's level up the runs. And spell mastery. Prevent death. Interesting. This one. Let's go to Nerdville then. Okay, here are the Fangs.
Tread carefully, Estramore.
Your path lies ahead, Rainer. Deal with the Dirwundan mercenaries. If they surrender, will you let them live? Softness such as yours will not bring them to heel. Their greed knows no bounds. Their memory honors no history. What use have we of prisoners? What example do we set others by letting them live? She shakes her head. Why would we forgive them again? I have been a friend to Twin Elms and the tribes. If my word has any weight, I will assure you these foreigners will not return. The woman gazes north, her mouth a twisted skull, as she ponders your words. The great stag nudges her shoulder, and she reaches up to scratch the animal's chin. Blood was spilled, and life sprouts from a soaked ground. She looks at you with a gold glare, mutters a curse under her breath, and sheathes her blade. We will let the raiders return headless. Their leader must pay for the crimes. Only then may the rest go free. She waves her hand northward. Go, deliver my message before I see the folly in this decision. Their leader must also be set free. No, do you wish the leader dead? We wish their leader to be an example to others. Sever his head, his freedom, or his family, whichever will best warn others not to trespass into our lands. I've convinced the Fangs to let the expedition go, but not without severe terms. Esmar, leader of the Dirwooden mercenaries, must pay with his life or his freedom to earn his companion's safe passage out of the Glenfattan lands. Okay, let's try to speak with them. Stop, friend or foe? The man in blood-soaked armor points his blade at you as his wounded and weary comrades flock into position behind him. A trickle of blood runs from a cut on his brow down to his neck, staining a locket of worn on a gold chain. You're not Glenfattan. He tightens the grip on the sword's handle. By Magran, friend or foe, I said. Calm down, I'm a friend. Sword still pointing at you, the man sides a sideways glance to his companions and nods. The mercenaries load their weapons. By the flame, the hero of Defiance Bay. A rare and welcome sight. Friends this far from home. He lets the weight of his sword lower his arm. He gives a concerned look to his mercenary company. Look at us, hiding in the rocks and holding in our guts. He points south. The fangs, they've blooded us and now we're trapped. Svinet sent me. What happened? Resourceful girl. The captain has a chuckle before returning to his humorless frown. We assume the Glenfattens killed her before coming up on us. I'm relieved she's alive. Doubly relieved she brought help. He rests his sword, still caked with blood, across his shoulders. The tribesmen ambushed us just as we made camp. The fight was a lopsided slaughter. Esmar stares at his feet as he finishes his thought. In the melee, someone tripped through the campfire. We were lucky in that regard. The stench of burning flesh and the choking smoke obscured the scene, and a few of us managed to withdraw. We ran to these ruins to regroup, but no, we're trapped. The face painted are just south of our position, and they have us cornered. No doubt they are happy to let us start while they rest and rebuild their strength before attacking anew. His left hand idly toys with the locket worn around his neck. Seems this is where we will be making our last stand, he mutters as he clenches the gold ornament. I've convinced the Fangs to let you go, but you must bear the punishment for trespassing and be taken prisoner. Esmar blinks and arches his eyebrow in surprise. Well, if anyone could have, I suppose it would be you, but creases around his eyes deepen with his growing frown. He looks at his locket and then lifts his eyes back to prisoner. If it's the only way to save my men, I'll endure it. But who's prisoner? I have room in my stronghold to take you as a prisoner. You will be treated well. You will hold me prisoner, and that will satisfy them? He takes a half stride back and looks you up and down. So be it. I'm more than willing to be held hostage, if it means we all get home safe. I'm sure you will have to keep me as a proper captive to honor the arrangement, but I understand. It's far better than being the Fang's prisoner. The captain turns into his company. Each of his soldiers stare back, pale with fear. Esmar takes a deep breath, then raises his fists in the air. New orders. You are to fall back. The expedition is over. Stow your gear and make for Defiance Bay at once. The mercenaries exchange glances with each other, waiting for the first one to obey the command. Are you deaf? I won't tell you again. Time to go. Now. Esmar's booming voice springs the reluctant mercenaries into action. Wounds are dressed one last time, camping gear is secured, and within minutes the men set off on their march, nodding at their leader in acknowledgement as they pass. It's my duty to see my men return home, if that means enduring prison, so be it. I... Okay. I've aided the Dirwooden expedition. They are safe from immediate harm. Swineth waits on the southern edge of the Northwell to know of their fate. With path cleared, I can let Esmar know that it's safe for his men to escape the forest.
I'm on the trail.
Let's check the last place. Nothing else hidden? Looks like not. Where is she? Speak with Swineth. I'll be ready to follow. Swineth, her gloved hands half buried on the waves of her rebellious hair, watches your approach, incredulous. You did it. Her dimple frame a beaming smile. She lets out a sigh of relief and wags her finger at you. We'll be chanting your name back in the gift. Everyone will know what you've done for us, I promise. I realize Esmar will need to be your prisoner if we are to honor the agreement. An odd arrangement, but it will save the expedition. She shrugs and gives you a sly smile. Besides, I'm sure your dungeon is far more enjoyable than whatever the Fangs do with their prisoners. She scratches her cleft chin with her free hand and gives you a measuring look. But you're the type to deserve more than just a praise. Coin, weaponry, she rubs her gloved fingers together. Or, if nothing tangible suits your fancy, I'd gladly share my skills with you. I'd like to learn from your skills. Swineth nods enthusiastically. I was hoping you'd say that. She removes the gloves from her hands, stowing them in her back pocket. When you spend as much time as I do in the ruins, you learn to strike first, and to strike without warning. She holds the stock out in front of her and splayed parallel to the ground. The key is efficiency of movement. Mumlian was granted Dungeon Delver. She walks you through several footwork drills that focus on quiet footfalls and measured breathing. Place all your weight on the final step when you're ready to strike, she yells for emphasis as she demonstrates a swift, silent lunge. As you follow her example, she nods in satisfaction. I think you got the grasp of it. I'm honored I could teach you something new. She half curtsies and turns to take her leave. Particate experience. Esmar watches Swineth disappear into the thick foliage. He turns to face you. I'm ready, I think. He unwraps the locket from his hand and ties it around his neck. At least some of my men are leaving Erglanfat alive. I return to Swineth with news of her company's fate. Though Esmar is to be held prisoner, his sacrifice means the rest of the expedition is free to return home. Okay, let's check which quest we still need. A servant of death. Okay. Wait, Aruna. So again, the Elm Shore. But not first, before getting asleep in the inn. And we need to take a sip from some kind of alcohol in there. Let's get here. How much he still needs to level up? Oh, a lot.
Certainly.
Good day, stranger.
Welcome back. Is there anything I can do for you? I'm always glad to see a new face. Take a seat where you like. My friend, it seems to me your walk a long road. All are welcome here, and those with interesting stories, most welcome of all. I'd like to hear the room. Of course, something with a nice view. Yes? 200. So let's check first the soulbound item. Be revived during combat 5 times. This will be hard to get. Maybe in the White March. And here's drink a beverage in every bar in the Eastern Reach. So, first beer. Here. Durance consumes a beer. How much time do you still have? 6 days and 5 hours. Okay, so
Hello!
let's sleep for 200 copper. Gada leaves stronghold. Did I miss completely? Did I still have one quest here? Looks like it. Okay, good. So, a secret society of animancers has been traveling around the Eastern Reach, promising to restore life to lost loved ones. They perform their rituals at clandestine meetings in various cities, never staying in one place for more than a few days. Though some spark of life appears to be restored to the bodies they revive, authorities suspect that the group is behind abductions, murders, vivisections, and other ghastly practices that appear to be required by their methods. To make matters worse, those restored to life rapidly decompose or go mad within days of their resurrection. Concerned animancers and various civic authorities are seeking help in tracking down those responsible. Okay, I will give it to Zahua. Okay,
If it makes you rest easier.
let's go to Elmshore then. Too few of our leaders remain with twin elms. Let's see where we can find her. Let's try this again. An elf stands on a dais in the middle of clearing. The ground is blanketed with leaves in various shades of russet and gold. Her eyes are closed and her arms folded in front of her. A curtain of autumnal yellow hair hangs in front of her face. As you draw near, she lifts her chin and looks at you with shifting hazel eyes.
Greetings, Estremor. You are among the Ovates of the Golden Grove.
And you are?
High Ovate, an ancient elm among poles and saplings. We have taken root in the same soil, and the others grow in my shade. Their roots nourish my soil. My branches give them shelter. Together, we grow.
Your ascension's like an eddy in the stream, Estremor. Speak the questions on your soul. I'd like to know more about the oaths of the Golden Grove.
Like the leaves of a tree, we are many sharing one source, one purpose. Living or dying, we nourish one another. The truths of the soul and of the body are written on every blade of grass and sung by every creature under the sun. We learn these truths and sing them back.
Ours is not the song of the gods, but of Veretha. This is why many of our numbers study the discourse of herbs and inhabit the skin of beasts. And we value individuals such as you, those who seek the answers and the questions that give our lives meaning. Your druids, are you familiar with the ethic null? A wrinkle of distaste crosses her lip. A swarm of maggots on a dead songbird, worms hollowing a mighty spruce. They celebrate the withering of life rather than its budding. They size strength from others instead of accepting that Veritas freely gives. Her eyes dim to a blackish brown. They take pride in their independence from the gods. Yet their leaders demand an even greater sacrifice, death for life, strength from the spent essence of their petitioners. The ethic null offers another kind of servitude, and one to kith whose souls have long since rotted. The ethic null should save lives, not end them. Flecks of green open boots in her eyes. On this we agree. Berath has sent me to enter your life. It has continued for too long.
What is a god that his voice should carry so far? And what are you that you should so eagerly obey? The gods only have dominion over what we seed. And you would cede matters of life and death to them.
Duran's laws thickly with the reason. The gods set the rules and let us do as we will, but that is merely a test, and only a fool thinks he has been ceded anything. You do what your god wants, or you face the fire. This woman is about to become an example. Are you any different? You extended your life beyond its natural span. Through work and wisdom. The greater the tree, the more fruit it may yield. She nods at the ovates gathered in the clearing. They are once gleaming at the ancient elm and to the sunlight. My growth sustains them. Should our harmony fall prey to a god's jealousy? We should not be to the whims of the gods, but I find it hard to see what her followers gain from this agreement. The gods are wiser and more ancient even than you. It's not for either of us to oppose them. She shakes her head. It's a shame we could not come to an accord. Foxy.
My thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
Okay, ring of protection. What we have here? The elf high await Arona is now dead.
Certainly.
And before getting anything anywhere else,
And this gash here is from when I woke up with a wolf pack trying to eat me.
There. Mauled by a bear 7 years ago.
Oh yeah, look here. And here. Once the bull had me properly hooked on its horns, things got worse.
hmm. Let's check who it might be. Geralt watches your approach with betraying any emotion. Be welcome, Estramor. They suddenly flex. Estramor. The dwarf holds his fists in a tight grip. Yorkin doesn't come here to share with the tribes. What do you want? Goodbye. Let's see this. 1. Something more? Very well. And this might be him, but we'll keep that for the next episode. So I'm really happy that you were here with me again, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as me. So see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Also, as always, I forgot. Feel free to follow my Twitch channel or my Mixer channel. Or if you are interested, there is also one YouTube channel for you to subscribe. See you soon.